Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this quick live today. I'm going to talk very simply about what showing up for yourself really looks like. What showing up for yourself really looks like. And I wanted to discuss this because I think so many women confuse self care versus self honor. And I want to go deep on that. Self care versus self honor. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. And I got started in my company over 20 years ago. And I simply made the decision to self honor myself, my talents, my gifts, my background, my experience, and my desire to do what I absolutely loved in a business form. I decided to risk it all, right? To trust myself, to bet on myself. And I want to talk about how you can do exactly the same as a result of making a powerful decision for myself. I changed my life. I built a business that is time rich, meaning I no longer trade time for dollars in order for me to work. And so many women want to make that leap or make that change, but you're afraid, right? You're afraid. And so we're going to talk about how to overcome that today. I hope if there's one person that hears what I'm saying and they say, Mia, you're talking to me, and they make a change, then I did what I came to do. And I'm so excited to be here. Today, if you're just joining me, I'm going to talk about what showing up for yourself really looks like. Because when I think about the last 20 years and having built a business that's allowed me to be the kind of mom I wanted to be, I got to go to everything, guys. My kids are 20, 23, and 27. And I started my company so I could be available to my family. I had no idea if it would work because it's not a promise, right? But I can promise you this, that if you delay starting or launching, you'll never get to live the promise. And I'm so grateful that I had the faith in myself, the courage and the bravery to say yes, even when I didn't know if it would work or not, even when I didn't necessarily even have the resources to launch a business, so I thought, but it changed my life and it'll change your life. There are three simple things that I'm going to talk to you about very directly today. And I promise you, if your feelings get hurt, this is likely not going to be the live for you today, because my goal is to support those of you who have been following me and you've been on that fence and you are not hanging from that skinny branch. I know for a fact that it's time for you to move. For those of you who have a lot of the changes that are happening in the workforce, or maybe you have been laid off, or maybe you have been downsized, or maybe the role that you've had has changed in some way and you feel marginalized, right? Or you feel that your identity was so tied to what you do, you're wondering, like, what about me? I'm talking to you. And for those of you who have been doing the exact same thing for years, for decades, and you're a master at what you do, and you want to do that next thing, meaning start your own company and launch and go big, but you're afraid, right? You're afraid of doing something and failing, possibly because you haven't failed up until this point in your life, because you're rocking and rolling in what you're doing in your career. And of course, you've had failures along the way. But where you are right now, you're the go-to person. You're the person that everybody comes to. And the idea of starting all over again might be a little scary for you. I'm going to be talking to you. And for those of you who are just getting started, you know that there is something bigger on the inside of you want to release, but you're trying to figure out, is it the right time? Or should I wait until my husband does this or my kids do the other thing, or, that life is just perfect. I promise you that your gifts will make room for you, okay? If you make room for your gifts. All right. So let me just jump in. Today I'm going to be teaching very simply and quickly, deeply though, what showing up for yourself really looks like. And I've got three simple things that I'm going to share with you that I want to give you a perspective for change, to make a change. The first is the difference between self-care versus self-honor. And I think so many women confuse this. So I'm going to break this down for you. I wrote a book about 17 years ago. It's called Time for Mommy, 5 Essential Strategies for a Mother's Self-Care. And what I found, and I've studied this topic of self-care over and over again, and so many women get it confused. And what they don't understand, or like the way that I like to think about self-care, is that self-care is often maintenance care. So things that we do that we call self-care, I call them maintenance care. That might be getting your hair done, getting your nails done, getting a routine massage because you need it, right? Or working out because it's good for you. That's maintenance care. Those are the things that you do, right, to maintain the care of you. And it's really important to do that, but it's also very important to make the distinction with self-honor. Self-honor is something that means that it goes deeper than self-care. It means that you are honoring the calling that's on your life, the vision that you see, the things that in your mind's eye, or the voice that keeps happening over and over again and saying, that's for you. You're meant to be on that stage. You're meant to write your book. You're meant to start your consulting. See, self-honor is when you decide that you are going to go for the thing that you know you were meant to do, in opposed to sitting on the fence and waiting and wishing. Self-honor means that you have decided that you're going to be brave for yourself. And I actually wrote myself a quick note about it, because self-honor to me is how you see and treat yourself at your core, right? It's the decisions that you make when no one is watching. Meaning, when we're starting a business or deciding to start a business, you don't have a boss. You're the boss, applesauce. It's you honoring the promises that you have made to yourself, the vision that you have. It's standing in your value, even when it's inconvenient. So to me, self-honor is like, some of you are already consultants, already working in your business, but you're not operating with your own self-honor. You're offering what you're doing for free or no fee, or you're afraid to stand in your value in the truest sense. And if this is you, I hope this really supports you. It's owning your worth and not just tending to your needs, right? It's understanding that the things that are big about you acknowledge those things. And I think that's really an important conversation to have with yourself when you're talking to yourself about yourself, understanding, listen, am I honoring who I am and the bigness that's inside of me and what I'm meant to do? A lot of times women come to me and they tell me, Mia, look, I'm looking to follow my passion. And, talk to the same women who don't make a decision to commit and get a mentor and to have the accountability, who are unserious, they're just talking. And I'll talk to them later. And what I've said over and over again is, look, it's not your passion that'll get you to do it. It's your mastery that will make you successful. And if you don't understand how to uncover what your mastery is, you need to work with someone like me who can help you understand, like, what is it that's really super amazing about you? Owning the brilliance inside of you. Now, here's the thing. You live with it every day, and you likely know what it is. But we have been taught to not honor the things that are great about us. And sometimes we're very uncomfortable operating in that zone of genius. I'm telling you the truth. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you today is, what does showing up for yourself really look like? And I believe it's understanding the difference between self-care versus self-honor. I have women who want to start a business and they'll spend the last dollar going on vacation, calling it, I'm calling it what it is, self-care. And they're not honoring the purpose of their life. They could have taken that same investment and changed their lives. And I have women who I've worked with who have taken their very last dollar and they've absolutely changed their life because they operated with self-honor toward themselves. I'm breaking this all the way down. And I want you to think about yourself and how you're showing up for yourself or how you're not showing up for yourself and you've been making excuses. Number 2, today we're talking about what showing up for yourself really looks like, what it really looks like. And number 2, it means building a life that is aligned versus busy. So listen, I already know you're busy, but the question is, are you aligned? Okay, because when we are aligned, you'll find that there's a level of ease and grace that comes with building your business around your life. It's what I've taught my clients over the years, is how I live. My business is very much in alignment with my life. I built the business around my life. And most often the work that we're doing, you have had to make your work your priority, and your schedule has not considered even what's most important to you. I'm telling you, alignment really changed my life. I meet so many women who are busy They're all busy: work, school, family, community, spiritual communities, and all the things that you're connected to. And they're so busy doing all of these things, but they're not fully aligned doing any of the things that they're doing. These are all things that they're doing on their schedule that they say, I gotta do. Right? I want you to move into a place where you understand that you get to do these things. When you are in alignment, you're doing what you're called to do, and you don't feel pulled to do them, pressed to do them. You don't feel pressured to do them. And if you feel any of those emotions, I'm telling you that one of the shifts that you need to make is showing up for yourself and understanding that it's time to get in alignment, thinking about what is the work that you were meant to do that will fulfill your heart's desire. I call it being fully expressed. When I do the work that I do, helping women show up like the giants that they are, for me to be able to call out a woman who I know is talented and smart and sharp, and she is operating at a level of efficiency and success, that's great, but she's not fully as impactful as she could be. And for me to help her put those missing pieces together, it's alignment for me. For me to see that this woman has the ability and capacity to be amazing for every single person in her life, and then to be a minor. She's a major for everybody else and a minor for herself, and help her to understand that whatever you do for yourself, whatever investments you make, whatever time you put into your dreams, your family, your friends, your community, they're the benefactors of your growth and your success. And yes, I believe that 100%. When I started my business years ago, I never built my business for my family. I built my business for my freedom. Because if I didn't get myself free, I wouldn't be able to show up and do the things that I wanted to do. I want you to think about you. And I hope that there's something I'm saying to you. Yeah, I'm preaching today. That's shaking your shoulders, that makes you sit up taller, that makes you think a little bit differently, that maybe you've accepted the status quo as your norm, and maybe now it's time to change. And I don't care who's in office, and I don't care, how industries are changing. There's always room for you. And if anyone's told you right now, look, market's saturated, people aren't buying, it's not a good time to start a business, they're incorrect. There are people right now who are in alignment, and they're not running to a place of fear, because that's not in alignment. They're running to that power. They're bold. They're courageous. They're looking for the opportunities. And I will tell you, if you don't show up aligned, you'll never attract what you really are meant to do, or who was really meant for you. Friendships, opportunities, etc. I believe personally that there is a layer of money around you that you don't even see. And isn't it cool to be able to work on yourself so that you can see more of what's available to you? I remember when I started my business 20 some years ago, though, no one even knew the kind of coaching I was starting. No one even used those words over and over again. They thought I was crazy starting a mom coaching business 20 years ago. And the kind of success that I created, the kind of media that I garnered, the kind of strategic partnerships with Fortune 100, 500 brands that I created, the coaching practice that I built. Why? Because I decided to be brave and aligned. And you're going to have to do the same thing too. Number 3, today we're talking about what showing up for yourself really looks like. And this is a tough live, but I'm coming from my heart, and I hope you guys feel it. Because if there's one or two of you out there that say, Mia, I need you, I'm ready to take this journey, come on. Okay, let's change this next half of the year, no matter where you are and when you're seeing this. The third thing that I want you to do, if you want to show up for yourself really, is build your life in your business from your brilliance. Build your life in your business from your brilliance. And that means that you have to own what is great about you. And I mentioned that a little bit ago, but so many people are really great at owning what is not so great about them. And they're not great at owning what I call your bigness, the things that make you great, the things that are your mastery, the things that whenever you do them, they create an echo. People say to you over and over again how amazing it was that when you told them to do this or that, and it changed their life. They're still talking about it. Every time they see you, the changes that you recommended, they implemented, they changed their life. That's your thing. And if you've been looking for your thing and looking what everybody else is doing and you can't figure it out, you need to come on over, right? Come on over so I can show you what operating in your mastery looks like. I've helped hundreds of women really figure out their thing from scratch. And most of them had no idea. They knew they were amazing, but they had no idea that they would launch the businesses that they did or the businesses that were inside of them, because we decided not to look from an ant place, but from a giant place. And I would love to support you in doing exactly the same. Now, here's the deal. You got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for all that comes with being giant. And that means showing up for yourself. And that means saying yes to yourself and saying, I'm going to figure it out. People who say yes and then figure it out. And people who say yes and they don't move, they don't figure it out. You know what I mean? They just create more questions. Like, and the reality is that people who want it. And there's some people who want the wanting, right? I just want a business, right? Then there are people out there doing it. Who are you? How are you showing up? Building your life and your business from your brilliance, right? In my opinion, is the greatest gift that I got to give myself, is operating from that place of understanding that I absolutely deserved to create impact in the world, that my gifts were not for me. My gifts were meant to be given away to others. So that doesn't mean free. It means that I'm going to be properly compensated for changing the lives of others, because if you change someone's life, right, as a result of you changing someone's life, your life should change too. And if you are a service provider right now and you're changing the lives of others and your life hasn't changed, there is something missing. Okay. That means that likely you are operating in your brilliance, but there's something incongruent about you being able to stand in your value and own the things that are great about you and being compensated properly for that. And that can be changed with coaching and mentorship for sure. All right. And getting some insight around what that looks like. So I hope that there's something I said that really supported you. And there was one other thing that I wanted to share with you just as a bonus. And that is, so often women who are smart and sharp and fully capable are highly functioning on dysfunction. Let me explain this. You're highly functioning on dysfunction. What does that mean? It means that you become dysfunctional as it relates to yourself. If you have the muscle to be able to support your kids through any type of investment that they need, or your spouse, your partner, your community, everything, and you're last, that's a dysfunction. Imagine that you want to give the people in your world the best of you, but you wait until you're the last person that you decide needs support. Okay. Fact of the matter is, that's dysfunction. And I want you to really just think about it for yourself. Like, why is it that you believe that you go on the back burner when it's time for you to show up for your dreams? When you look at consistency, who's been more consistent than you in the lives of every single person that you love? You have. Okay. So what we know is that if you invest in yourself at the highest level first, every single person that loves you, you're going to bless them anyway. So I just wanted to say that if you're a high functioning, dysfunctional person as it relates to yourself, I hope that there's something I said that gets you to make a shift. Now, I'd love to be able to support you. If you hear this and you're like me, you're talking to me, you stepped on my toes, you shook my shoulders. Good. All right. And you're like, I'm ready to stand tall for myself and be the giant that I am. What do you recommend? I recommend that you book a call with us. There's a link here. Let me grab it real quick. I'll post a link here and you can book a strategy call with me or a member of my team, and we'll see how we can support you and get in alignment, packaging what you know, building a business around your life, a time-rich business, and for you to stand tall and to own what is really great and amazing about you. You'll see the link inside of the comment section, so make sure you take action. All right. I love you. I hope that this has supported you. And even if you've watched this replay today, I would love to hear your opinions. You can always reach out to us equally in the DM and just say, tell me more. And we're here for that. Love you. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye. Are you interested in packaging your knowledge into a high-ticket product on or offline? If your answer is yes, the Giant Experience is for you. Here's my story. I got started in my business over 20 years ago, and I simply made the decision to go to work as myself. And maybe you have been wondering how you can take all of those years of experience, your knowledge, or your degrees, and put them to use for yourself and to package it into a monetizable structure. That was me 20 years ago. I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer, and I realized that so many women wanted to know exactly how I was able to write best-selling books, and having done partnerships with both Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies and get signed to media, Emmy-nominated and nationally syndicated television shows as the mom strategist. And so I decided to equally transfer what I knew how to do to them. And I built out a coaching practice that today has coached thousands of women just like you who are ambitious, smart, and sharp, highly actionable, go-getters. And they wanted to figure out how they could go to work for themselves.